There's nobody at the main jail.
Your Honor, we were advised they got the docket, Mr. Romero.
I'm here. I'm always here, Judge.
All right, well, you're not in custody, so
Yeah.
you don't help us much.
Is that?
Not
Who,
yet.
What's going on
I
over
don't
there?
think so. I think she's out.
Judge, we got our paperwork late. My understanding is Deputy McDuffie is right now trying to bring all the clients.
Okay, well, we'll start with private counsel here. I think you're on the King case, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is Miss King, do anybody know where Miss King is?
She's at Maine.
She's at Maine? Do you want to waive her appearance? You want to wait till they bring the paperwork in, sir?
I waive her appearance.
Yeah, and we're not making any kind of contact release conditions, so there's nothing she needs to be ordered by the court.
All right, so we're on the record. I've read the paperwork, sir, unless you want to say something. There's probable cause to believe she may have committed the charge of aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer and trespassing. So what has the state and the
Your Honor,
defense agreed?
if it's acceptable to the court, we've reached an agreement on a $2,500 bond. While I acknowledge it is a serious charge, Ms. King has no priors. I spoke with counsel. He's provided me with some mitigating evidence, information to consider that I have taken into consideration.
Yeah, well, she was
in reaching
certainly,
this agreement.
according to this, misbehaving out there. I don't know how serious it was. I guess the officers will tell us. The trespass bond be left at the same, $100?
That's fine, Judge.
So the total bonds are $2,600,
Yes, Your Honor.
which the state agrees to. Okay, find probable cause in the case, set the bond in count one at $2,500, the bond in count two at $100. Those other special release conditions?
I'm not seeking any at this time, Your Honor. I don't think they're necessary in this
All
situation.
right, well, that could be up to the division judge. All right,
Sure.
two bonds that are $2,600, sir, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Thank you
good
very
day.
much.
Judge.
Thanks for coming in. Have a good day. All right, so we gotta wait. Let me see if anybody at these other, they can hear me
I
at
don't think
Paul
they-
Ryan or Conti or any place?
Yeah, I don't think they have any, but.
They don't have anybody?
Mr. Reedy called the other, they don't have.
Yes,
any.
Your Honor. Paul Ryan can hear you.
Oh,
You got any customers today, sir?
I have one, Martinez, she needs a Spanish interpreter,
Oh, she needs a Spanish interpreter.
and I have one who's talking to the attorney now.
She has a private attorney?
No, she's speaking to Mr. Edie right now.
Oh, she is, okay. All right, well, if you guys get ready quickly, I'll try to order an interpreter. We'll take your cases because jail isn't ready yet. Conti is dark. North Broward is dark. Back to the main jail. Okay, they're starting to come in. Eric,
sir.
is someone going to call for a Spanish interpreter for,
We have a Spanish interpreter on the way, Judge.
thank you?
In the meantime, if you'd like, we
We're
could
glad to
go
see you back, sir, by the way. Where were you yesterday? We were looking all over for
I
you.
was in the Pocono Mountains, Judge.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What brought you back from there?
In a fit of insanity.
I guess we haven't turned this machine off, right?
We had a lovely time, though.
Well, good for you.
If you want to call on our second look docket, there's a young lady by the name of Francois Christensen at Paul Rhine.
Let me see if they're ready.
They are.
Francois Christensen, is that you, ma'am?
Yes,
You're here on a second look today, and let's see, she has a charge of battery and criminal mischief. She's been in jail 5 days.
she came through over the weekend, Your Honor, with a $1,000 bond on each case. The allegations are that she spit on the victim, poured beer on him, and threw a bottle, this happened at a liquor store, threw a bottle that hit him in the head. Then, as they went outside, struck his passenger side mirror, breaking it. $1,000 bond on each, Your Honor. My concern, and I don't know if there's anger issues, I don't know, but I can tell you, Ms. Christensen, in 2015 in Dade County, an individual sought and obtained an injunction order of protection against her, and then she was arrested for a battery in 2016 that ended up being dropped.
Was the victim in the case an employee, or was it
Okay,
just?
I'm sorry. And Your Honor, I
Can you tell?
apologize. My notes said 1,000 on each, but I've been told it's only 1,000 on count one.
That would appear to be correct. And I know the victim was not an employee. It looks like the victim doesn't remember what the argument was about. He was at the liquor store with Miss Christensen, and then they had a disagreement about something, and then the allegations are.
What's the name of the liquor store?
One moment, Your Honor.
Ms.
I
Christensen,
can
while they're
look that
looking
up.
for this information, are you employed, ma'am?
currently no.
Where do you live, ma'am? Don't give me the address, but the city.
Hollywood, Florida.
How long you lived there?
Almost 2 years.
How long you been in South Florida?
All my life.
Who lives with you in Hollywood?
My family.
And that is?
Mother,
mom.
sister, brother.
Yeah, Ms. Christensen advised me, and she gave me her mom's phone number to contact her, but she's not at all certain that her mom is going to be able to come up with $1,000 bond. I think Ms. Christensen understands the importance of not having any contact with the alleged victim in the case. I'd ask the court to consider pretrial release for Ms. Christensen.
The name of the store, Your Honor, is Caribbean Gardens Liquors.
Caribbean Gardens Liquors.
Yes, sir.
And do we have the name of the victim there?
Colin Pierre.
All right, let's do carefully, Mrs. Christian. You've been in custody 5 days on this bond. You're telling me you're not working. Do you have any assets or resources, ma'am? Do you have any money in a checking account or bank account?
Very little, sir.
All right,
I was working at a Domino's Pizza, but with this incident, I guess I can't go back to work.
Well,
I'm
you-
also in between school. It's summertime. I plan to go back in August.
okay, well, I think it'd be in your best interest for you to get back employed and show you're a productive citizen when you see the judge on these charges and the case gets disposed of, because if Mr. Linder is giving me the accurate history there, this is not your first visit over here with the court system, ma'am, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, here's what I'm gonna do, ma'am, listen carefully to me. I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance from this charge as of today, with 2 caveats. You can have no contact whatsoever with Colin Pierre. You cannot return to the Caribbean Garden Liquor Store at all under any circumstances.
Okay.
You are not to be involved in any other criminal activity or get any other charges while you're out on your own recognizance. You're to be a good and productive citizen. It is your obligation to find out when you are supposed to go to court and see the judge. All I'm doing today is releasing you with these conditions. If you do not show up in court, a capias for your arrest will be issued, and it may be that you have to stay in custody ever how long it takes for your case to be resolved. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm taking a chance on you, ma'am, based on this case.
Thank you, sir.
I don't want you to disappoint us or the court system. You need to be a good and productive citizen. Anything further, Mr. Linder from the state?
Nothing from the state.
All right. All right, you'll be released, ma'am, assuming you don't have any other holds. Good luck to you. Have a good day.
Keep track of the court system in case you get a court date.
Ma'am,
So
you-
don't miss court.
if you don't get anything in the mail, ma'am, it's your obligation to call over here or go on the internet and find out. But you must, it is your obligation and only yours to find out when your court date is, okay?
All right.
Or you can call the PD's office. Good luck.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, we're waiting on a Spanish interpreter for the other lady. We could go back probably to the main jail, right?
Hope so.
We don't have many customers there.
Got a few.
Mr. Romero, leave.
He's off camera. He should be there, I'm sure. Yeah, there he is.
Judge, I'm ready.
All right, Mr. Romero, I don't know who's in the back there or who you have. Maybe it's better.
Well, if we go by order of the docket, Ms. King was brought. I just advised her that her private attorney waived her presence, and she was given a $2,600 bond.
Thank
The
you.
other, the next person on the docket would be Nancy Carvalera Torres.
Yep.
And she is on page 2 of the docket. Come on up, ma'am.
She speak English? Speak English, ma'am?
It's English, Judge.
All right, ma'am. You're here on an out-of-state hold, ma'am. Therefore, there's probable cause on this. It looks like the offense is burglary. And I can't tell what state it is. Louisiana, I am told. Therefore, you will either have, does she see somebody at extradition on this?
She will have an extradition hearing scheduled before Judge Malika, Judge.
All right, Judge Malika is going to hold an extradition hearing, ma'am. That will determine whether you voluntarily go back to Louisiana or they try to compel your performance. But based on this out-of-county hold, there's no bond. You're going to have to see Judge Malika and either return to Louisiana or find a lawyer to fight it, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck, ma'am.
Our Spanish interpreter is present, Your Honor.
Thank you, Spanish interpreter is here, so why don't we do the lady who is and Paul Ryan, that way they can move on. And what is her name?
It's a good question.
Hold on.
Martinez. Carla.
Carla Martinez?
Carla Martinez, yes.
Ma'am.
Let's see where she's at.
I think this was, I'm not certain, but I think this was an immigration hold reset.
It is, Your Honor. It was from this morning.
Oh,
I don't have
I
anything on her, do
appreciate
I?
the promotion.
I don't have anything on her.
Yeah,
She was for reset from the morning? Anybody have any
Yes, it
paperwork?
was, Your
La
Honor.
fijaron para esta tarde, ¿no? Desde la mañana.
Sí.
Yes.
That's her, no, she's, okay, first off, let's do it right. Madam Interpreter, if you'd raise your right hand, please, you swear affirm you will truthfully and accurately translate Spanish into the English language during these proceedings?
I do. María Salazar, Certified Court Interpreter.
Her name is,
El nombre, mine or hers?
hers,
Es su nombre Carla Martínez, hijo.
Carla Martinez.
Carla Martínez, Carla Martínez, Your Honor.
So she was a reset, but we don't have paperwork, but someone thinks it's an immigration hold?
Usted la fijaron desde de la mañana para hoy, ahora en la tarde. Aparentemente es por una retención de inmigración.
You all are positive it's an immigration hold?
I'm checking this, Your Honor,
Están checando.
I checked BSO pics and she does have an immigration hold.
She does, that's the only thing that's holding her, though?
There's a KPS on a battery as well.
¿Qué on a
No
battery?
es de inmigración, es de una orden de arresto por agresión física. It's not an immigration, I'm sorry.
It's 501
You have it for tomorrow?
547.
Ha sido fijada usted para mañana.
Then you know what, maybe, you know what I think happened, Brian? I think we told the judge, because we were told she was in court, and normally we ask those to be reset for the next morning, because we don't know if they'll be back from court in the PM. I think there might have been some confusion.
Posiblemente haya habido una confusión. Se pidió que la fijaran para el día siguiente, para la mañana.
Wait, the deputy, do you want to say something, deputy?
Yes, Your Honor. Somebody called me from the courthouse and asked me to bring it for the afternoon docket.
All right,
Al
we have,
oficial le pidieron que la traiga. Alguien llamó de la corte para que la traiga usted.
we have some confusion in the courtroom, ma'am,
Tenemos un poco de confusión acá en la corte.
and I don't have any paperwork, and you're not on the docket, so you're going to be reset for the morning.
Yo no tengo ningún documento todavía, entonces la voy a fijar para el día de mañana.
All right?
¿Está bien? Ya.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, deputy.
Gracias.
Is that all you have up there, deputy?
Yes, sir. That's it.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
Back to the main jail. Mr. Romero.
We're ready, Judge.
I had Robert James Strauss next.
Okay, and he is, Mr. Strauss, come on up, please. He's approaching, Judge. There and back.
Mr. Strauss, good morning, sir. You are here as a result of an an out-of-state hold for possible immigration proceedings. You are going to have to see Judge Malika and determine whether you want to go back to the state and fight the charge or fight the extradition proceedings. You have the right to do both of those, obviously. But until that occurs, sir, unfortunately, you're going to be held no bond. There is a felony warrant out for your arrest. So you're going to have to resolve this and either go back to, is it Arizona? Arizona. But there's nothing I can do at this stage till you see Judge Malika. So you'll be held for extradition, sir, okay? Good luck to you, sir. That's all I have to say. Oh, he turned the mic off. All right, Mr. Romero, next is Joseph Lear. Are you there, Mr. Lear?
Moment, Judge, he's coming.
Thank you.
You said Ryan Lear, correct, Judge?
Yes, sir?
Mr. Lear, come on up, please. He's approaching, Judge Municipal. There's the judge right there.
These are MOs?
They are, Your Honor. They're also, just to advise the court, it's a KPS out of Judge Lorenz Mental Health Division. I imagine that's why she set them in no bond.
She have a, oh, they're all gone this week, aren't they?
Well, she is scheduled for a status in Division FI. I can't remember off the top of my head what division that is. But it does show in the docket he was supposed to see a circuit court judge on these cases tomorrow morning.
He's supposed to, oh yeah, because the circuit court's here, come for the county court.
Yeah, it says Division FI in the docket. I'm not sure what division that is.
This says MI.
No, that's the division it's assigned to. On the docket, Your Honor, on this side, it says status Division FI.
Oh, that's probably Judge Fine, I think. All right, what I'm gonna do on your cases, sir, is I'm gonna require you to see Judge Fine tomorrow on the statuses. He's covering for the county court judge. You have two capuses out of mental health court, it looks like, one for trespassing and one for disorderly conduct. What Judge Fine decides to do with those, I don't know. He may plead those cases, but you were supposed to return to Judge Lerner Red's court, and for some reason you did not. Did you ever live at 1217 Southwest 7th Street?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that's where the paperwork went, and you didn't appear in court, so I'm gonna hold you over until tomorrow to see Judge Fine, and we'll put him, is it possible we can put him on a second look docket, just in case? How's that done? That he'll come back on a second look? All right, how do I
These
make
aren't
sure?
capuses.
No, you say, Eric, that he's already on, you're sure he's already on for status tomorrow with FI?
Yes, that's what's been written in
All
on
right.
the docket, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna find probable cause based on the warrants. You'll see Judge Fine tomorrow. If for some reason you're not out of custody in the next day or two, or before a division judge, sir, we're gonna relook at your case and see what the release conditions would be, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Good luck, thank you, sir. Next is Kyle Barn.
Mr. Barr?
Is an MO, state case?
No, it's a capus on a state traffic offense.
Okay, so he got stopped on a scooter for running a light. He didn't get charged with that, but he did get charged with a capias on trespassing. Are you, Kyle
I believe
Barn?
it's a capias for an
Operating without a valid license, you're right, operating without a valid
Judge, in
license.
speaking, Mr. Barr, he wishes to resolve this matter today.
Offer from the state would be withholding court cost.
I'm sorry, would be what?
Withholding court cost, Judge.
All right, sir, the state's offering a withhold of adjudication and payment of court costs. Do you have ability to pay the court costs in this case? Mr. Barn, you listening to me?
Yeah.
Judge, he
let me
says
get
he's
out.
gonna-
I'll pay that shit in a
I
week.
got-
I'm sorry about the language, sorry about the language. I apologize.
Judge, he says he does have the ability to pay court costs.
Yeah.
All right.
How much?
I can give him, what, 3 months, 6 months to pay the court costs?
6 months.
All right, I'm gonna give you 6 months to pay the court costs, sir. I'm gonna accept your plea of no contest to the charge of driving without a valid license. You'll get 6 months to pay the court costs. I withhold adjudication on the case. As a caveat, sir, you are not to operate any kind of motorized vehicle on the streets of the state of Florida unless you have a valid driver's license. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
All right, sir, as soon as the paperwork is done over at the jail, assuming you don't have any other hold charges, you should be released later today. Good luck to you. Let's see, I had Nederland Villeman,
Is he present, Judge Amin?
he bonded?
Yes.
All right, they're telling me in the courtroom that someone made your bonds, sir. I'll find probable cause. Your bonds have been made. They'll release you, assuming you have no other holds, sometime in the next few hours. Good luck.
Good luck,
Good luck to you, sir. Walter James Tillman?
Bonded, Judge?
Thank you very much. Man, this is an easy job. I may take this job all done. I know.
You-
Until something bad happens. Michael English Stearns. That's why Eric's been down here all these years, right? Well, I know, but you figured out, you've been here a long time. You figured out the gig.
Yeah, it only took, I don't want,
All right, well, that's always true in any job, isn't it? All right, sorry here. Michael English Stearns.
Bonded, Judge?
Oh, he bonded, thank you. How about Anton Joseph?
He's here present, Judge at Maine, approaching. Come on up, sir.
So you're charged with 2 felonies today. Possession with intent to distribute or sell cocaine and ecstasy. Give me 1 minute. You got a record, Mr. State Attorney?
Your Honor, now with this case, Mr. Joseph has 3 pending felonies in Broward County. He was arrested July 10th, I'm sorry, not July 10th, that was this case. He was arrested June 21st for possession of cannabis with intent to sell, deliver, and trespass. He bonded out for $1,000. Arrested May 27th, possession of cocaine, cannabis, resisting without violence. He bonded out for $1,000. In addition to that, a resisting without violence last year, possession of firearm by convicted felon in 2009, 3-year state prison as a habitual offender. Resisting.
All right, that's good, Eric, thank you. All right, sir, there's probable cause to believe you may have committed these offenses. Mr. Joseph, you need to find a different lifestyle here, sir. You're just going to keep getting arrested. You need to get out of this lifestyle if that's what you're engaged in. There's no reason to disturb your bonds based on your history. These are the convenience bonds that are already established. Count 1, the bond is $2,500, and count 2, the bond is $2,500. Good luck to you, sir. James, Brian?
Mr. Melnikoff is here present, Judge. Come on up, sir.
Good morning, you're Mr. Melnikoff?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so you're charged with possession of fentanyl and a possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause to believe you may have committed both of the offenses based on the probable cause affidavit, sir. How long you lived in Broward County, sir?
I lived in Broward County over 10 years.
He's got a whole bunch of aliases. I assume he has a record, Mr. State Attorney?
Yes, sir. He pled out a trespass in February, unlawful use of false name ID last year. He had a possession of fentanyl in 2017, a possession of PVP in 2015. The only other really serious offense, Your Honor, was an aggravated assault with a firearm against a law enforcement officer resisting with violence. That was in 2009, Your Honor.
09, thank you. All right, Mr. Melnikoff, I don't know what's going on with your life either, but if you're having drug issues, man, you need to see if you can get yourself into the drug court and get some treatment for your problems, sir, because it looks like you're having a lot of contact with the criminal justice system. That's probably not good for you nor us. There is probable cause on both of these cases.
Judge, if I may, and speaking to Mr. Melnikoff, he told me about his prior contacts with the criminal justice system, but as you heard, his most recent contacts were misdemeanors. I believe the last felony offense was over a year ago. Now, he did advise me he works at a labor pool. He does that every day, and he lives in Fort Lauderdale, and he rents an apartment by himself. Right now, he advised me there's no one that can afford to post his monetary bond, so we're going to be asking the court to consider releasing him on pretrial release, and due to the nature of the charges, we wouldn't object. The court also wanted to impose random drug testing.
Well, I mean, I may consider doing that, but Mr. Melnikoff needs to know that if he's randomly drug tested, he needs to be clean. If you're not going to be on pretrial release. You're going to get rearrested for that violation, and then your bond's probably going to go up, and you may not get out of custody. Are you going to be able to do that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor,
say, Eric?
I just want to bring to the court's attention.
You said he has another case pending or another case to resolve this year?
No, a trespass that was resolved recently. But I do think the court should be aware, before you take any action, that last year's. One moment. I've got it, Michelle. Last year, he was arrested on that possession of fentanyl case that he resolved. He was on pretrial, and his judge signed a warrant for violating pretrial, in that he left his residence, his whereabouts were unknown, he never returned, and essentially absconded.
Thank you. Sir, the public defender, Mr. Romero, told me that you now have a permanent place to live. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you lived there?
I've been there for about a year.
All right, sir. I don't know if you're hearing what I'm telling you, but based on what I'm hearing here in the courtroom and seeing in these papers, and I'll probably never see you again in my life, you need to give some serious thought to get yourself into a drug rehab program, sir. Seriously. How old are you?
27.
Man, do you know how bad I'd like to be 27 again? Your whole life's ahead of you, sir. You got to fix this problem because you're just going to keep coming back, and eventually, some judge is going to put you in prison. It's not going to be county jail, okay? You hear me? I'm going to take a chance on you. I'm going to put you on pretrial release, but if you screw up this time, trust me, Mr. Linder's going to read this to the next judge, and you're not going to get pretrial release ever again. I'm going to put you on pretrial release with a requirement that you be randomly drug tested, so you better stay off the drugs and you better be clean, okay?
Yes, sir.
You need to report within 24 hours, and you have to do everything they tell you to do while you're on pretrial release, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good luck, Eric?
Nothing on this case, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Good luck to you, sir. Have a good day.
before we go into the next case, I wanted to advise the court, Your Honor, we have a gentleman in the courtroom that had to be brought to the courtroom based on special circumstances. Oh.
Okay, I have felony supervisor on the phone, the case you gave me, you assigned. I just need a short order.
Okay, if you, can someone write one?
Yes, Eric.
Eric, could you write a short order for me?
Is that on the Kamani Pierce case?
Yeah.
I'll
Would you write me an order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll write the order here. There was somebody Judge Escudero called me about that had to be brought back this afternoon that.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna tell Your Honor
Oh, okay.
about. He's, that's Alton Harris. Mr. Harris is present in court. There's special circumstances that require him to
to
be
do with his hearing?
present. Exactly, Your Honor.
What was
Normally,
his name again, Alton Harris?
yes, normally what we do, is we'd have him be brought before a county court judge who that he's assigned to either that afternoon or the next day, but as you're aware, that's really impossible this week.
Right. So he's charged with trespass?
I know all the, I got it. Thank you, though.
Okay, is there, I'm calling Mr. Pierce's case. He can't hear me, I guess you're saying?
Mr. Harris, Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Harris, forgive me. Mr. Alton Harris, is there anything special about his case other than?
No, it's just, I believe he, and Brian, I don't know if you want to inquire, Mr. Harris, I believe he can read lips, and if it's written down, he'll understand. It's just, he needs to be present in front of the judge. It doesn't really work over camera that well.
Okay, are we going to resolve his case on the trespass?
I
time served?
believe so, Your Honor, and Brian, if you want to move a little bit, he may be able to see what I'm saying. Your Honor, I don't have a problem with the court wants to resolve it. I do, and I just spoke with Mr. Reedy, I think the court should be aware. It's starting to become a bit of a problem. Mr. Harris is coming through here too often. This is now his 6th arrest this year, 3rd time in the last month, all for trespassing, all in the same general location.
Yeah,
We're all becoming familiar with Mr. Harris. Judge Powell has strictly advised him he cannot keep going back to this area, this location.
just a mobile mart?
This one's a mobile mart, Your Honor. The other ones, the last two were at the, I'm sorry, one moment, Judge. 3200 West Broward is, and as you can see, it's practically next door to this.
All within
so
the same few blocks?
It's in the same, exactly, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Reedy, we need to communicate with him. This is his last chance.
Yes, Judge, I've written down all the pertinent information for Mr. Harris, including the charge that's facing him, who I am, and whether he would like to resolve it. I also wrote down for Mr. Harris that the state is concerned because he is getting arrested at this location too many occasions. I will next write down for Mr. Harris that he is not to return there and that this is his last chance.
The next time, he's going to be incarcerated. Just tell him that. I'll write that down for him, Mr. Reedy. While he's doing that, I find probable cause on his case for the charge defense.
It would be an adjudication time served. I imagine that's what the court would
Adjudication and
offer.
time served.
For the record, Judge, the message I wrote to Mr. Harris is the offer is time served. Last chance, the judge says, stay away from this place. Do you want to accept time served? And the answer is yes.
Okay, I'm gonna write him another note. Would you take him this note? And the note reads, you cannot go back to 3300 block of Broward Boulevard. Let him give it to him. Yeah, give it to the lawyer.
Is it Brian?
That's the lady who's there? Okay, thanks.
Oh, yes, I can't.
Mr. Reedy, he's got a note. If you read it and give it to him, I already read it.
like to make my notes part of the record.
Very good. Madam Clerk, can we file these notes with the case number on them? Can you do that for me? All right, just for the record, in Mr. Harris's case, Mr. Harris has hearing issues. Everything has been written out to him by his public defender and by me. He's agreed to state's offer of an adjudication and time served, and I've also indicated to him he cannot return to this location again in writing.
She was at Paul Ryan. We didn't, I don't know.
Do you agree to that, Mr. Reedy?
I do agree with the judge.
And he, how about him? I know you're not gonna go back there, but how about him?
Yeah.
Harris
that's the immigration law also.
It's really hard.
Right, that's, that was, I come to talk to her and let her know.
Well, if you don't want to come back, what we'll do is whenever the case is heard, I'll make sure to put on the record.
You're gonna be back up here.
We're done, right?
Yes.
On this case, yeah. Do you know?
We are done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Did Paul Ryan
No,
bring
he'll be
Martinez back for
released,
tomorrow
assuming
morning?
he's got another hold.
Yeah, wasn't she, Martinez was reset for tomorrow morning?
That's what I was just trying to figure out. It was going back and forth. So. I'll be sure to put on the record and let her know that you came by.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, I have an attorney Jimenez here. Is that you, ma'am? And you're on Carla Martinez.
Your Honor, I was just speaking to counsel. That was the case that was supposed to be reset for tomorrow. She was at Paul Ryan. I advise counsel if she wants to come by tomorrow morning, that's fine. If not, I'll put on the record that I spoke with her attorney. She's aware of the situation that's going on. So Ms. Martinez can know that her attorney's on top of everything.
She has immigration hold, right?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah. She said she didn't, but we thought she did.
Right, Judge. This morning she was set, because Judge McCarthy was dealing with the misdemeanor docket since our judges are out. I was hoping to resolve her case. However, we learned afterwards she has an immigration hold, so I wanted to come talk to her and let her know. But she's set in front of Judge Diaz, I believe, on Monday anyways.
All right, well, we told her, Brent told her to bring him back up tomorrow, so I guess he can tell her what,
Okay.
Whatever counsel wants, you know, if you got other
I
places to
can,
be.
I can probably come back tomorrow morning and just talk to her, so I let her know.
okay,
Either
that's
way.
good. All right,
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for coming by.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Romero, I guess we are still forging along here with Joshua Johnson.
He's at North Broward, Judge, or on his way there?
He's a medical reset judge.
Medical reset, thank you. How about Christopher Bagur Navanas?
He's here, present, Judge O'Main, approaching.
Michelle, do you have any priors? Do you have any priors?
THC, is that, it's like that
The oil?
oil of marijuana or whatever it is?
Yes, Judge. Just-
All right, good morning, sir. You're charged with 4 cases. 3 of them are possession of THC, and the 4th is possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less. The first 3s are those felonies or misdemeanors?
They're third-degree felonies, Your Honor.
Third-degree felonies, and the last is a misdemeanor. Let me read the PC to make sure they field tested it. Well, he admitted it was THC.
I think that's what the officer was relying upon.
Says
I
here,
don't think that's enough.
says here, after reading his rights, the defendant admitted that the items were THC and that he purchased them from a drug dealer outside of a shop in Hollandale Beach, and that the items were not purchased at a store. No active warrants, et cetera, et cetera. Did you want to say something, counsel, before I find probable
Judge,
cause?
I don't think that Mr. Boger Navarra's statement that it's THC is sufficient to establish probable cause. He is not, as far as I know, a chemist. I think that these items need to be tested. And I'd ask the court to take that into consideration. I mean, it is THC. That we're
I have read
discussing.
these where someone will say, the officer will say, this looks like ecstasy to me, and the guy says, no, it's not ecstasy, it's cocaine, or make some, admission like that. Would that not?
Then for all we know, it turns out to be ecstasy once an actual lab gets a hold of it to determine what it is.
And, Your Honor, I think the law requires to be convicted. Certainly, the state needs to present evidence of testing. For probable cause, to give the officer probable cause to arrest, I think, 1, he can rely upon his admission. 2, in this instance, what I would note, unlike other drugs like cocaine and ecstasy and MDMA, I would note in these 3 instances have packaging which specifically lists the percentage
Right, I
of
saw that.
THC, which I think the officer can rely upon also.
What is this, does he give any record?
Yeah, and I was going to get to that as a separate matter. I've been advised by pretrial that he has no criminal history, Your Honor.
No criminal history.
And Judge, this is what I was gonna ask, considering his lack of criminal history, he's 31 years old, he basically repairs tires for a living. Judge, in reviewing the PC affidavit, he was cooperative with law enforcement, gave him consent to search his vehicle, actually admitted, try to be as cooperative as possible with law enforcement. He's gonna come back, he's not a flight risk, so I'd ask the court to consider a straight ROR. If the court's not inclined for a straight ROR, then he gave me the phone number of his friend that will post his monetary bond.
Okay, well, let me find out a couple things first. How long you lived in South Florida, sir?
30 years.
And you
Same when I
live,
was 1 year old.
you live in Pembroke Pines?
Correct.
And who do you live with?
My father.
And you, Mr. Romero said you're working, where are you working?
Wheel repair company.
How long you worked there?
Since 2010, 9 years.
All right, sir. I need to make it clear here. If I release you on your own recognizance, it's your responsibility to find out when your court date is and return to court and answer for these charges. Do you understand?
Of course.
And the other condition of being released on your own recognizance is you don't get in any further trouble, you don't get arrested, you don't commit any other violations of law. Are you able to do that?
Yes.
All right, based on his lack of history and the charges, I'm going to release him on his own recognizance to return for these charges. And you will be released, sir, assuming you have nothing other to hold you. Good luck to you, sir. William Jonathan Eckhart,
I believe
Medical
medical?
reset.
medical reset, thank you. And how about, last one, it looks like, Rafael Cruz?
Cruz, he's here, present, Judge O'Main. Come on up, Mr. Cruz.
Could you check his record too, please?
Yes, sir.
Let's see here, sir. You're charged on 3 warrants for your arrest. These capiases or warrants? So these are capiases,
These are not in custody cases. Your
not in
Honor.
custody capiases, and you're charged with grand theft in the 3rd degree, fraudulent use of a credit card, and criminal use of personal ID information. The warrants, the capiases established probable cause by a prior judge. Let me read this quickly. How long you lived in South Florida, sir?
21 years.
Who do you live with?
I stay with my mom.
What city or state? I mean, city in the state.
I live with Florida, sir.
Are you working?
Yes, sir.
Where?
At a Thai restaurant. It's called Red Thai Inn. I'm a sushi prep cook.
Well, it says there's video of whatever he was doing in this PC. Counsel, what is his record?
Your Honor, okay, as far as Florida and Broward goes, resisting without violence, 2017. 2010 felony battery due to priors, violation of probation, 3-year state prison. Battery resisting without violence in 08. Trafficking cocaine in 02, 31-month state prison. Possession of cocaine 2000 and a battery in 2000. I'm also showing that he has warrants out of the state of West Virginia from 2017 for failure to appear on a misdemeanor marijuana case. And
Wouldn't that have shown up when they read it?
it's not extraditable, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
It's, looks like it's surrounding states only.
So if he's in the state, they could pick him up on it.
Or a surrounding state, yes. I'm really just bringing it to the court's attention since it's a previous instance of a failure to appear.
Thank you.
Also, a warrant out of 2017 out of the state of Pennsylvania for damaging property. That's in-state pickup only. One moment, Your Honor. And that's really the
Thank you.
highlights.
All right, sir. Do you have savings account or checking account or someone who can help you make these bonds?
I do. I just can't get in contact with anybody right now, sir. I don't have nobody's number.
What is it you need to get their number?
Out of my cell phone.
You need access to your phone?
Yes, sir. And I don't have none of my property here with me. When they arrested me in the morning, the cop was nice. He let me give all my property to my friends.
So your friend has your phone?
Yes. Well, suppose my stepfather. He gave it to my stepfather. He gave all my stuff to my when I first got arrested. They let me take off all my jewelry, and I gave it everything to my friend. And my stepfather came and picked it up.
Well, you might be able to be lucky enough to get somebody from the public defender's office to call them and give you the number that you're looking for. I would give you access to your phone, but I can't give it to you if someone else has it.
Yes, sir.
You have a rather colorful history with the criminal justice system, sir. I'm going to leave the bonds in count 1 and count 2 as they are. I'm going to reduce the bond in the bonds in count 1 and 3 as they are. I'm going to reduce the bond in count 2 to $500. Your total bonds will be $2,500. You're going to have to get a hold of somebody to help you post those bonds so you can get out of custody and fight the case. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, of course. All right, so we just got the second look docket, that's it? Okay. Yep, perfect. So we have the order, Madam Clerk, and I'd like them to just reassign this and
Sorry, I didn't.
give me the judge's name if you would.
Yes, they
Or,
should
or they can email it to me. Someone down there knows my email. All right, so we're on second look dockets. The first one I have is Robert Burke. Is he there?
Yeah. I'll check to see.
Let's see, are these felonies or
The first 2 cases there, Your Honor,
content.
content?
they're motions. All we have left is felonies, and these 2 are motions to release. He should be a Conti.
Spoke with Conti. They said they didn't have anybody.
Well, they could pull him because
Robert Burke, Ballard Moody, Angela Vespia, Frederick Warren.
both of the motions were filed. Yeah, both the DVs were filed.
So was Burke, was he one waiting for y'all to file charges?
Yes, and the state did file an information.
Okay, so they filed charges in Burke's case. You'll have to see the judge. How about
If you want to call Frederick Warren.
Frederick Warren? Someone's
Hey,
calling
that means
Conti, we
Brian
don't know.
I'm checking to see which facility he's at.
Let me see
Your
at the
Honor.
main jail. Do you have anybody left, Mr.
Yeah, he's
Romero?
at Conti too.
No, there's one gentleman here at Maine, and his name is Ballard Moody.
Bring him up, so we'll do him while we're looking for these others.
Mr. Moody, come on up, sir. He's on the felony second look docket, Judge, and he declined the services of public defender.
He's charged with burglary of an unoccupied
Yes.
conveyance.
He appeared before Judge Murphy Monday morning. Judge Murphy set $1,000 bond, Your Honor. As far as his history, in 2017 in Palm Beach County, he had a burglary of a structure and a grand theft that he violated probation on, and a 2016 domestic violence assault out of Alabama. And the allegations are, he attempted to break into a car at 2:45 in the morning. Yeah. I mean, that's really the sum
Okay,
and substance
thank
of
you.
it.
He's been in custody 2 days, it looks like. Mr. Moody, do you work, sir?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I work for a tree cutting company
For how long?
for about 4 weeks now.
What city do you live in?
I live in Riverdale,
How long you live there?
Fort Lauderdale. I've been living there for about 2 months now.
How long you been living in South Florida?
For about 2 years.
I mean, I can
Who do you live with, sir?
I live with a buddy of mine named Tim.
I don't know what you have in front of you, Your Honor. I can tell you the probable cause affidavit lists an address on Tradewinds Avenue in Lauderdale by the Sea. The booking sheet lists his permanent address as homeless.
All right, how do you explain that, sir?
Yeah, that was a long time ago when I was in rehab. They took me to the DMV and I got an ID and they listed my address from where the rehab was. And that's how I got that address and that ID. But yes, I've been on and off homeless since then. But I've been living with Tim for about a couple months now, and I've been working with him for, we've been cutting trees and stuff like that for about 4 weeks now.
Do you have money to make a bond, sir?
I do not have money to make a bond, sir.
Do you have any savings, any checking, any friends that will help you make the bond?
No, sir, I don't.
What did you say? He had a burglary last year.
Yeah, it was 2017, a burglary of a structure and grand theft out of Palm Beach. He violated his probation last year. That was, Your Honor, and just, he violated his probation on a grand theft arrest out of Broward. The state dropped it, but that's only because the victim didn't want to prosecute.
Were you going to say something on pretrial release? You have something on him?
Yeah, in Alabama, he seems to have, he had a series of cases of traffic offenses back in 2016.
Yeah.
In 2016.
So what they're telling me, sir, doesn't bode well for me to have confidence that you're going to return to answer for this charge.
I promise you, sir, that I will be here as soon as I need to be here for the court. I promise you I will be. And I will not return to that area that I did this happened at. I promise you.
Sir, that's why you should have the services of a lawyer when you're in front
That's
of
why
a
we tell you not to talk
microphone.
about your case.
All right, sir, I don't know. You're a pretty iffy case based on your history, and I'm not confident that you're going to behave yourself if I let you out. I guess I could still put you on pretrial release. You can put him on there if I make him go, right, counsel, even though he probably doesn't qualify.
Your Honor, one option you do have is you can make it pending verification, so if they verify with the gentleman he's referring to as Tim.
Okay,
he
that's a
lives
good
there,
idea.
then-
That's a good idea. You guys could do that. You'll do that. All right, sir, listen carefully to me. I'm going to place you on pretrial release.
Okay.
They're going to verify your address. If they are unable to verify your address, you will not qualify for pretrial release, and they're going to tell the judge that's sitting here, and there may be a capias issued for your arrest. You understand?
Your Honor, what happens?
Oh, they don't
when
let
you-
him out.
When you do pending verification,
I understand.
what happens is the $1,000 bond stays in place. Once they verify the address.
Then he goes on pretrial.
He's automatically ROR'd.
All right, you understand all that?
No, what's going
They're
on?
telling me that they gotta verify your address first, that that's where you're living. Your bond will stay the same until they're able to verify that. Once they verify that, then you'll be released on your own recognizance. A condition of you being released on your own recognizance is, one, don't go back to the area where this crime allegedly occurred. And two, don't commit any other new law violations. In other words, do not get in trouble, sir.
And Your Honor,
Okay, yes, sir.
so there's
Yes, sir.
Hang on one
So
second.
there's no confusion. The incident location is 2316 Southwest 34th Way in Fort Lauderdale.
All right, you get that address, sir?
Yes, sir.
Stay away from there and don't get rearrested. Pretrial will be working on verifying your address, so someone will get with you in the jail. As soon as they're able to do that, you'll be released on your own recognizance. If not, your bond will stay at $1,000. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Good luck to you, sir. Stay out of trouble. All right, off.
Warren is.
That is all. Thank you, Judge. See you tomorrow,
I
hopefully.
mean, it's been filed.
I'm here tomorrow, too?
No, yeah. Friday.
Friday?
Mr. Warren's getting a little ahead of
Be here
himself.
Thursday, Friday, Judge?
I'll be here Friday morning, they're telling me.
I'm sorry? Well, I mean, I can tell you Warren and Burke were both, informations were filed in both cases. Well, we have, I mean, let's
Then the
call Warren first
motion-
and make it official before we start.
Then the motion should be denied,
Yeah, I know, I just want to have the judge call it before we all start.
but they don't have them. So I'll waive their appearance. And
So Frederick Warren, it says denied, right?
Yeah, the information was filed, Your Honor.
Okay.
The only case left I see is Angelina Vespia.
What happened to that one? Is she still around? Anybody know where she's at?
We had her this morning, actually, for her first appearance.
That wasn't the lady that she was, the lawyer was here on.
No, that's Ms.
Martinez,
Martinez.
yeah.
Ms. Vespia is one of those cases where you get reset so many times that your first appearance and your second look end up on the same day. She should be a Paul Ryan. I can tell you, Your Honor, we had her this morning with Judge Esquierdo. He specifically asked her what bond could she afford, because her bond was set at $2,100. She said she could afford an $1,100 bond. He reduced the bond to $1,100.
Okay, well, if he's seen her and he's reduced the bond, I don't need to see her again, right?
no, Judge, I'd waive her appearance.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. All right, let me turn this machine off. We are through, I guess, right?
Sir,